In this video, I want to break down the differences between an OpenClaw agent and a sub-agent, and when you should use one versus the other. We're going to use Muddy OS as an example versus how we have things configured. And then I also prepared this documentation that we're going to go through side by side to hopefully help you better understand what the differences of an agent versus sub-agent are. So without squirrel ado, let's build. All right, so as you can see here on the screen, I have my org chart. I have me up top. I have Muddy. This is my primary OpenClaw agent. I have Elon, which is another OpenClaw agent with his own workspace. And we'll get in more into that in a little bit. Gary, the same. Warren, the same. So I have 4 total agents up top. Then underlying, I have all of these sub-agents. You may be asking, what's the difference? Well, let me show you. So an agent is a fully scoped brain with its own workspace, its own state directory, and its own session store. Whereas a sub-agent is nothing more than an isolated session. It's a temporary session that performs a task, gives its results, and then ends its session, right? So it doesn't have any persistent memory. Now, moving along, think of it like this. With an agent, you're hiring a new employee. They get their own desk, their own computer, their own login credentials, their own filing cabinet, nothing shared unless you explicitly set it up. And for sub-agents, think of it like handing a sticky note to your employee, go do this thing and come back. They use your desk, finish the job, hand you the result, and the sticky note goes into the trash. Now, what do the workspaces look like? Well, with an agent workspace, you have all of your MD files. You have your soul, your identity, your user, your agents, your tools, your memory, and your heartbeat. Whereas with sub-agent workspaces, they don't have any of that. They get a temporary session ID, and then they read the parent's workspace files. This is actually very critical to understand as you set up your organization within OpenClaw. Here are the major differences here. As I mentioned already, it has its own workspace. It has its own session store where chat history lives in a completely separate directory than your primary agent or than any other agent. It has its own auth profiles, and it reads directly from its own JSON for that. So you can manage agent credentials if you have different credentials for different agents, right? It has its own skills directory as well. And then it has its own channel bindings. This is critical if you want to create separate Telegram bots with direct access to different agents within your OpenClaw setup. And then it grows over time, right? These memory files accumulate, identity evolves, the agent remembers what it did yesterday, last week, last month, etc. Right? The main benefits of setting up OpenClaw. Now, sub-agents, they're spawned via a sessions spawn. These are temporary. These are created on demand by the parent agent. It gets a task, does the work, reports back. It does not own its own workspace, right? It does not have its own workspace. So it runs inside of the parent's agent's workspace. No separate soul MD, memory MD, or identity files whatsoever. It does get auto-archived after each session is spawned. There's no session tools, right? That's reliant on the parent workspace. And then it's task scoped. So it's designed for one-off jobs, research, write a draft, run a calculation, generate a report. And then it auto-announces. When it's done, the result is automatically announced back to the parent's chat channel. Now, you're going to notice when you first set up your OpenClaw setup, it will actually spin up its own sub-agents, right? Because it tries to always keep its chat open to you, but you're going to notice it's a default feature built into OC, okay? Moving along, right? The session key format that you're going to notice in chat and on the back end is agent, right? I'm using Gary as an example, one of my agents, and this is his main chat. Whereas agent main, sub-agent, right? So in this case, if Gary were to spin up a separate session, it would go agent, Gary, then sub-agent, right? Now, real examples based off of my organization. Gary has a persistent role. He's my CMO. Anything content and marketing and strategy related, all of those sub-agents and tasks fall underneath Gary. The same for Elon, right? He's a CTO. He's engineering and infrastructure, front end, back end, security audits, etc. And then he has his own team of sub-agents. And then Warren, right? He's the CRO. He's responsible for revenue and growth. I do have a Clay Discord community bot with his own workspace. We're not going to dig into that too much on this one because I wanted to highlight the key org chart of the 3 primary agents I use in addition to Muddy, my COO, my executive assistant. Then for sub-agents, right, it's one-off tasks. So write the episode 2 script, This gets detected that it's a role by Gary, and then Gary spins up the subagent. Same for research competitor channels. You get the idea. Spawned by Muddy, auto-archived. Fix the CSS bug. It detects it's a front-end or back-end related request. It then sends it off to Elon. Elon then spawns whatever subagent session he needs to spawn, right? So I'm hoping you're getting a better understanding as we're going down this comparison. Well, so when to use each one, right? Well, you use an agent when you need persistent memory, identity, and personality. It must remember things between sessions. It maintains its own files over time, and then it has its own communication channel. It's a role, not a task. That's a key differentiator there. Now, use a subagent when the job has a clear start and end. It doesn't need to remember anything tomorrow. You want to stay available while it works. It's a task, not a role. You'd write it on a sticky note, right? Because what happens with sticky notes? They get thrown in the trash. Now, side-by-side comparison here, the life cycle, right? Persistent. Agents are persistent. They live forever. Subagents are temporary. They auto-archive after each session. For the workspace, agents have their own isolated folder, whereas subagents, it uses the parent's workspace. Memory files, right? Agents have their own set of memory files, whereas subagents don't. There's no persistent. It's reliant on that parent agent. Now, for session store, right? Agents have their own full history, whereas subagents do not. They get thrown away. Now, agents that are responsible for those underlying sessions do, however, store those in the parent workspace. Auth profiles, as we mentioned above, right? It's per agent auth. And for the subagent, it inherits the parent workspace's auth. For agents, can they spawn others? Well, of course, they have the full session tools available to them. For subagents, no. Session tools are disabled, right? Where are they configured? The agent is configured in OpenClaw.json, whereas the subagent is configured as a sessions_spawn with all the details here. Session key. If this were to be an example for Gary on Gary, right? It's like Gary would be here and then there'd be a subagent and then the ID associated with that session. Here's the workflow, common workflow of how things operate for Clearmud is I send in a task, right? Dependent on the task, in this example, it's a CSS bug on the dashboard. Well, Muddy detects that this is front-end work. Elon handles engineering. I'll delegate. Elon then reads from its own workspace, identifies the front-end task. It has its own workspace, right? It knows that it has its own team of subagents that are predefined depending on the task. And then it spins up Pixel, which is one of our subagents, which the session is temporary. But we do predefine what Pixel's responsibilities are at the start of each prompt. And Pixel also has his own skill tied to him that lives in Elon's workspace so that it never fails dependent on the task. Then we get the result delivered once Pixel's complete, subagent session gets archived, Elon's memory updated, and Muddy closes the loop. Now, what happens when it's just a subagent, right? Sometimes I send a message to Muddy and Muddy handles it inline, especially if it's research. Well, Muddy determines I send a message via Telegram or whatever my main session chat is attached to, and Muddy determines it's a quick task, no department routing needed, spawns directly. He then spawns a subagent to browse competitor channels, compiles reports, returns findings in this particular example, right? Research what competitors posted this week, and then done. Muddy stays available the entire time. This is how I personally have my system configured because I love when I have a thought and Muddy's chat, when my main agent's chat is queued, I really, really dislike this. So I configured things in a way to operate this way, but I wanted to use this as a subagent example because it's a perfect example for that. Now, moving along, right? Agents plus skills. This is where the real power lives. And honestly, not enough people are talking about this. You know, skills on agents, they live in the agent's workspace skills directory. They're loaded on every session and available to the agent and any subagent it spawns, right? As you can see here, this is just an example of Elon's CTO skills. We have a deploy checklist. We have a security audit. We have a nightly build, which is a self-improvement that gets triggered by a cron, which we now have, you know, the methodology line by line in the skills so that it gives me a better output than it ever did set as a cron. It's really amazing. It has persistent context. The agent reads the skill every session. It becomes part of how the agent thinks and operates. It's inherited by subagents. When Elon spawns Pixel, Pixel can read from skills in Elon's workspace. In your main OpenClaw directory /skills, they're actually available to all agents on the server. Skills for subagents. They don't have their own skills folder, but you can create skills that are designed for a specific task, and the subagent can use and reference them in the spawn prompt. Now, this gets predefined. This requires a bit of fine-tuning and understanding how this works. You just communicate with your primary OC agent to set this up. Now, strategy. 1 skill per specialist. As you can see here, we have front-end patterns, back-end patterns, and security audit. Each subagent reads this on spawn. The prompt instructs the skill, read skill X, then do the task. The subagent follows the skill instructions for that run. Consistent quality every single time. Update once, all spawns benefit. Change the skill file, and every future subagent spawn picks up the update. Now, when to create a skill for an agent versus a subagent? Well, agent level skill. The agent uses it across many sessions. It defines how the agent operates, morning briefs, executive syncs, etc. It involves an ongoing process, not a one-shot task. Multiple subagents might reference it, right? So executive briefing skill on Muddy, used every morning by cron, defines the entire brief format, delivery channels, and QA checks. For subagent specialist skills, it codifies how a specific type of task should be done. It's referenced in the session spawn prompt. Different subagents need different instructions. You want repeatability without the overhead of a full agent, right? So example, my front-end patterns skill in Elon's workspace. Pixel reads it on every single spawn. It contains component conventions, CSS rules, and testing requirements, right? And I wanted to take the moment to show you where I pulled all of this data from, including my own system. Everything you need to know is in the OpenClaw docs, docs.openclaw.ai. If you ever have a question, if you ever hit a roadblock with your OpenClaw agent, just ask for alternatives and also reference this docs.openclaw.ai and say, I want you to be methodical and dig through the documentation because I guarantee you there's a solution for what I want you to do that you have told me otherwise, right? Everything you want to set up is in the docs, but you don't have to take the time to read them. You can just feed the docs with the required, with the feature you'd like to build, explain the feature you'd like to build to your OC agent, and then say reference docs.openclaw.ai. It is a hack that not enough people are talking about. You can literally create anything you want to create this way. It just requires a little bit of patience, a little bit of time, and I guarantee you, you'll find the solution to all of your answers in the docs.openclaw.ai documentation on their website. So I wanted to keep today as short and brief as possible. I just really wanted to explain the key differences between an agent versus a subagent. Muddy has so many skills attached to him. Now, he doesn't call all these skills, he doesn't use all these skills, but when things get delegated, right, he references these skills depending on what it is. And some of these you'll notice are actually built-in plugins for OpenClaw itself. The same goes for Elon. He has his own workspace. Gary, Warren, then he has his own kind of parent skills. And then underlying, right, this is where I visualize what skills go where. Scout has his own set of skills. Competitive battle card, micro SAS build, proposal generator. The same for Anvil, right? He has a coding agent skill, a convex pattern skill, a GitHub issues skill, a GitHub skill itself, right? We have our security agent with a coding agent skill, a security audit skill. I have countless skills that I've slowly built out as I've built out my organization. So I hope at this point in the video, you have a clear understanding versus what's an OpenClaw agent and what's a sub-agent, when to use one versus the other, how they work, how they communicate. And yeah, I hope you found some value in today's video. Now, I'm not an AI expert. I'm building in public and sharing what actually works. If you'd like to see me make a particular video around a specific topic, drop a comment below. Let me know who you are, what you do, who your target audience is, and what your question is, and I will add a video to my queue, custom tailored just for you. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. My name is Marcelo. This is Clearmud, and clarity matters.